Jesus wants to, I believe this with all my heart, wants to have conversations with us. Not just as a relator, as a renegade, as reverent or receiver, but all the time. Relevant. Ongoing, relevant. Day to day, moment by moment, and even potentially continuous. So when we think about these categories, I'm going to give you some examples from the Bible. We've talked about these examples in our lives, but I want to show you what these categories look like in the Bible. So we're going to look at the renegade, and we're going to look at the reverent in Luke chapter 7. If you have your Bibles, flip over to Luke chapter 7, verses 36 to 50. And I find these verses really interesting because this conversation with Jesus was very fascinating because it's a contrast. So in verses 36 through about 50, verse 50, it says that there's a Pharisee that invites Jesus to come over for dinner. So the Pharisee, you're going to hold up the sign because you're the reverend. Hold this up like that. There you go. Everybody say reverend. He invites Jesus. Thank you. That's great. He invites Jesus to come for dinner. Fantastic. Jesus is coming for dinner. The house is going to be clean. Probably. So he invites Jesus for dinner. And, he's reverent. He's respectful. He wants to honor the law of God, the teachings of Moses, the prophets. I mean, he's doing everything right. Has Jesus over for dinner. At the same time, we have a renegade. So you got to hold your sign up. There you go. Perfect. Thank you so much. Everybody say renegade. A renegade woman who is a sinner, thank you, that's great. She comes and she falls at Jesus' feet. And she starts to cry and wash Jesus' feet with her tears, dry his feet with her hair, and she anoints his feet. Now here's the conversation. Because when you look at the Pharisee, this is what he says in his heart. He says in verse 39, when the Pharisee who invited Jesus saw this, he said to himself, if this man were a prophet, he would know what sort of person this woman is who is touching him, that she is I'm going to do it like the church lady from Saturday Night Live, sinner. Right? You got to love that. She's a sinner. She shouldn't be touching you. It's Maranatha 7. No words. It's going to be meditation music. We're not going to corrupt ourselves before we walk in the front door of the school. Are you tracking with me? I mean, that's the tone. And so the conversation starts. I love this. Jesus answers him, verse 40, and says, Simon, dude, I got something to say to you. And Simon says, say on, tell me, teacher. I'm cheating off your phone. Thanks. It says, 2 people owed money to a certain moneylender. One owed him 500 denarii, the other 50. Neither of them had to pay the money back, so he forgave the debts. Which one loved him more? So this guy owes $20. But the renegade chick, holy buckets, she owes 20,000. Both of them are forgiven. And Jesus, this is a conversation. Jesus says to Simon, who do you think loves more? Well, the one that's been forgiven more. And then he says, you're doing great. Then he says, do you see this woman? And this is in verse 44. I came into your house. You didn't give me any water for my feet. She has wet my feet with her tears and wiped them with her hair. You didn't give me a kiss, but from the time I got here, she hasn't stopped kissing my feet. You didn't put oil on my head. She's poured perfume on my feet. Therefore I tell you, her sins have been forgiven, because great love has she shown. But he who has been forgiven little loves little. Conversation. And I think from time to time, maybe I see myself in these conversations with Jesus.